What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the stream. Monday night, nearly 10 o'clock. A little bit of a later start than normal. But you know I always prefer, if I can, to stream once the games are finished. Man City game's only just finished, so game week 22 finally over. Finally over? Finally is the wrong word. Game week 22 over. We're now looking ahead to game week 23. We're going to talk a bit about game week 22. Quite a few, I suppose, big blanks this week. Man United smashing Spurs, which was nice. Tried to do a stream for that. Didn't quite go as well as I'd hoped, just due to technology / internet failures, but that's been deleted from the channel. We never have to talk about that again. I might try that again at some point, but tonight, just a normal stream. Not trying to watch a game and talk about FPL at the same time, which is way more difficult than it looks. I'm sure it gets easier with practice, but yeah, it was not good. Harry Kane, yeah, a lot to talk about with him. Obviously, gone off, potentially injured. We don't know yet. I'd be surprised if he plays this weekend, but I'm not a doctor, so who knows. The stream Sunday was fun. Yeah, I liked it. I did enjoy it. I just think it could be a lot better. That's all. Monday Night Football does my head in. I don't think there's Monday Night Football next week, so you're good. I think the match is finished on Sunday. Man City and Huddersfield, and then Spurs vs Fulham. That big game that people wanted Kane captain for, and now maybe they can't get it. I'd actually like Kane to be fit, because I think that makes it more interesting, because people will just switch captain to Salah for sure. They'll get rid of Kane for Rashford maybe, and makes it a little bit less interesting. You should do a 3 PM Saturday stream. Yeah, not always possible, unfortunately. Like this weekend I can't do it. I've got to go and look at more wedding venues, so we'll see. Maybe I'll do it at some point. I think it's a good idea. I think it would work better if I was watching a game and there was other games on. But look, we can do it. We can do it another time. And yeah, celebrating 1 minute afterwards. Anyway, lots to get through. This stream is sponsored, so I'm going to play a little video for this stream from the sponsors, and then let you know about the link in the description below, and then we'll carry on with the FPL chat as normal. Let me find this video here. Just great music. I was having a little boogie to that. Yeah, thanks very much to Odds Monkey for reaching out. Stephen reached out to me at Odds Monkey, who watches the stream. So thanks very much. They're the UK's #1 match betting service, which is basically software that tries to help you beat the bookies using their bonus and sign-up offers. So they've got training and software that help you do that. It's £1 for 7 days if you use the link in the description below. Usually £18 a month. So if you want to check that out, link is in the description below. Let me know how you get on. But yeah, thanks very much to them for sponsoring the stream. Oddsmonkey.com. Their link is in the description below, and obviously website on stream now as well. So yeah, let's talk about FPL. Let's turn the music back on first. Let's talk about FPL. What's the big talking point? Kane. The problem with Kane is everybody wants to know if he's injured, and I don't know that. And neither does anyone else. So it's hard to say whether you should sell him or not. Obviously, you've got to wait. You got to wait for the news on him. If he's out, then I think he's probably worth selling if it's a couple of weeks. I don't know about this benching him for a couple of weeks. I think there's a couple of other. There's a load of other options that you could go for. So I think if he's out for a couple of weeks, who to go for? I think Rashford looks to be the obvious one that a lot of people are going for. I don't know if he's must-have. The obviously good thing about him is he's only 7.4 million. He's Man United's front man, and it doesn't look to be changing at the moment. Lukaku may get a game at some time, but I just think if that happens, Rashford may just play wide and Martial might be benched instead. I think once changes have been made in the matches, it tends to be Martial that's been brought off and Rashford's been left on. So I can see why people want Rashford. Gives you money to pump into midfield, maybe a change of formation, 3-5-2, money in the defence as well. Obviously, Liverpool got great fixtures now, so that those of us like me, without Liverpool defenders, probably going to be looking to bring them in. Maybe Robertson or Trent, or possibly even Van Dijk. Not sure about that. But yeah, so I think if Kane is out, it does make it a little bit more boring, because right now people have obviously got a decision to make. Do you take out your 12.6 million asset or not? And if he's injured, that makes it very easy, and suddenly everyone has a lot of money to spend. Whereas right now, it's quite restricted to have Salah and Kane. Obviously, people are doing well with that, but it is much more restricted than if you get to sell him. So, if you've already got Rashford, I don't necessarily like Aubameyang. I just think Aubameyang looks good maybe for the longer term, but in the short term, his fixtures are pretty tough. If I just bring him up to remember what order they're in. I think the next 3 he plays 2 top 6 sides. Chelsea next, and then Chelsea. The Cardiff game is obviously really nice, and Southampton and Bournemouth later on. So the next six fixtures are okay. He plays Cardiff, Huddersfield, Southampton, and Bournemouth. But the problem is, in the short term, he plays Chelsea and Man City in the next 3. So for me, I don't think I could bring in Aubameyang this week. I think Aguero is another one that people are looking at, probably because he's around a similar price. But for me, I just think Jesus now in a bit of form. So I think that's 7 goals in the last 3. Obviously, Aguero was a little bit ill this week, didn't train that much. Which sounded like that's why he didn't play today. That's what Pep said anyway, that he just didn't feel like he'd had enough time to get ready. So I just think Aguero and Jesus might share a few more minutes than I originally thought. Obviously, they're winning with Jesus in the side. They're going to win with Aguero in the side. So that would really put me off. And then you've got blanks and doubles to contend with, because City are probably going to have a blank game week. Or definitely, I think, in game week 27. Unless Burton can score 10 goals without conceding. So, I don't know. For me, Aguero and Jesus not options right now, because you can't guarantee either of them game time. So, yeah, I suppose it's Aubameyang if you really want to risk those 3 top 6 games. Otherwise, Rashford looks good. Firmino maybe for Liverpool's good fixtures. A lot of them at home as well. Could take a bit of punt on him. So they've got Palace, Leicester and Bournemouth at home in the next 4, including West Ham away in that. So pretty decent fixtures. So Firmino could be one to look at as well. But yeah, I think if it's only 1 week out for Kane, then maybe you could keep. But it's just so much money, and I just think you've got Salah there who you could captain as well. You don't necessarily need to have Kane there. And really, the main reason to have Kane that people were saying was to captain him against Fulham. So if he misses that game, then yeah, I'm not sure about that. Thanks very much for the $2.99 Abraham over Vorde. I think I got that right. On wildcard, any thoughts? Perfect midfield. The perfect midfield right now. I don't know about... It depends, I suppose, if you're going 4 or 5. I think Salah for sure. And then Pogba. Like, Pogba could have had more points against Spurs. He looks dangerous. He's cheap. Outside of that, like the players I've got, Hazard and Richarlison, I don't know if you'd call them perfect right now. I think if you want to take a little bit of a punt, then you could go for someone like Mane to double up with Salah if you don't want to double up on Liverpool defence. I still like Sané. I think Sané on another day would have been played in a few more times. He should have had a goal to go along with his assist as well. But obviously they've got that blank coming up, so I wouldn't probably... The one thing I wouldn't do on a wildcard right now is probably double on Man City midfielders. I think if you've got them already, that's fine. They've got nice fixtures. But I'm not sure I'd do that on a wildcard. But Mane's a bit of a punt, I just think, for the fixtures. Otherwise, Salah and Pogba for sure. And then really, I just have a look at the fixtures outside of that. What happened to United Spurs live stream? Yeah, the internet just didn't hold up, basically. Obviously didn't like streaming the game and streaming. Bit frustrating, but there's other ways to fix that. There is another way to fix that. I will look into it. If I really want to do it, so we'll see. Just checking out the fixtures now. Yeah, Spurs midfield, Ali could be interesting, I think. I mean, people talking on Twitter today about Ali's goals with and without Kane, and how, you know, when Kane's been out before, he's stepped up. The only thing is, what I haven't done the research into is whether Son was on the pitch when he got all those goals, because obviously if Kane's out and Son's not here, then that does weaken Spurs up front. They could play Lucas Moura maybe, but right now he's only played really with Kane off the front. Obviously they got Llorente, and to be fair, I thought Llorente was okay against Man United in terms of winning balls, and like kind of he could play them on to Ali, etc. So Ali could be a bit of a cheeky option if Kane is out. And you could look at Redmond for Southampton, although I'm still not convinced by that. I know he's cheap, but he's done this before, looked good, we brought him in and then gone away from him. So I'm not completely convinced by Redmond. But the new manager's been in a little while now. They got decent fixtures. They got Everton, Palace, Burnley away, and then Cardiff at home. So the next 4 are pretty nice. But I wouldn't get him in and expect points every week. But for that price, you shouldn't necessarily. But obviously, you try and get them in over this fixture run, and that's when the points come in. That's what you hope. Lucas Dean, is he still a good option? Yeah, he's a frustrating. I hate him because I obviously went Keane. It hasn't worked out. I mean, obviously he's good for attack. The thing I think with Lucas Dean is there's a lot of us, myself included. Now we did get him a bit cheaper, 4.4 million, but we're keeping Doherty. But Wolves don't look like they're keeping many clean sheets anytime soon. But we're keeping him for attacking returns. So should Lucas Dean, especially those that got him in like 4.8, 4.9. I think he's only like 5.2 now. That's still a pretty good price. He's got attacking returns, and if they can get a few clean sheets, then you're laughing. The problem is they've got mostly away games. They've got Southampton away, Huddersfield away, Watford away in the next 5. Then Man City at home and Wolves at home. So I'm not sure. Like Man City, definitely not a clean sheet. I'm not sure they'd get one at home to Wolves either. Southampton could be tough, and Watford. Huddersfield away, maybe. I'm just not sure there's too many clean sheets. So you are really relying on attacking returns. But to be fair, the man has got a lot of attacking potential. So I think he's still a good option. I think for me, I've got Keane. Will I keep him this week? Possibly. I mean, I could just get rid of Keane and keep Alonso for now. But I just don't know about Alonso now. I might just do Alonso to Robertson and keep Keane for one more week before getting Trent in. City, but no, I'm not saying City have got Wolves. I'm saying Everton have got Wolves. Who is my captain next week? It's going to be Salah, and it's going to be Salah for the next 4 or 5 weeks. But yeah, Lucas Dean, he just looks good. I can't really argue against him that much, other than I'm not convinced by the clean sheets. And arguably, even for 5.2, you should really have clean sheets with attacking threat as the backup. But really, I don't know which defenders I'm backing right now for clean sheets outside of Liverpool. I mean, Spurs could get a decent amount of clean sheets with their fixtures. Man United, maybe. 2 clean sheets now against Newcastle and Spurs. Could be worth a look. Shaw's 5 million. Lindelof's 4.8 or 4.9, I think. So there's a few potential clean sheets out there. I think Liverpool are the guarantees. Yeah, Southampton, Bednarek, 3.9 million. Not a bad shout. I mean, the thing with Bednarek is I don't know who I'm getting him in for. In my team, I suppose Schindler maybe if I wanted to save some money. But I mean, I've got Wan-Bissaka, I've got a 4. I've got Doherty at 4.4. For me, Bednarek probably doesn't come in. Joe Pickford, thanks very much. Time to prepare for the blank game weeks 27, 31, 33. Yeah, it's something to start looking at. I still don't know if we're quite there with... We don't really have enough info to 100% know what to do. Because obviously not all the matches that are going to affect those game weeks have not happened yet. So apart from Man City, who we know aren't going to lose 10-0. So there's not much plan for sure we can do this week, I think. I think one thing I've seen on Twitter quite a bit is saving a transfer this week could be quite good. Because next week we'll have a bit more info, and then maybe you've got 2 free transfers, you might know who's going to blank, etc. And then you can make a bit more of a... You can get a bit more of an idea. So if you can save a transfer next week, it might be decent. But for me, for example, I feel like I really need a Liverpool defender this week, so I'm not going to save the transfer. if I needed, I'll take an extra hit down the line. But I feel like getting a Liverpool defender in this week will be long-term a good move. So yes, we should start thinking about blanks and double game weeks. But for me, I'm trying to not let them completely overrun all my decisions. Yes, you have to think about them. You don't want to go into game weeks with, no players in a blank or not enough double game week players in a double, because everyone else will have them. But I don't want to completely start making decisions based on them in game week 23. Not just yet. I think this week I can make a transfer and then worry about what's going to happen next week. Jimenez subbed off very early. Yeah, that was tactical though. They were down to 10 men. Really, he couldn't do much more than hold the ball up. I know, obviously, the Wolves do play on the counter quite a bit. And Jimenez, does it pretty well. For a guy that's not that fast, but against Man City, when you got 10 men, basically Traore was on because he's fast. And not much more than that. So he can stretch the defence a bit. They try and play a ball in behind. He can get on the end of it. Really, he didn't do much, to be honest. But they were never going to come back and win that game. Jimenez now had a 45-minute rest, back in for the next game. I'm not worried about it, to be honest. Let's see what the bonus points are for City. There's people talking about it in the chat. Oh. Someone said Sané was on 26. Still showing 33 to me. I don't know if that's changed. So Jesus 3 bonus, Sané 2. Stones 30. Or 1. 30 BPS. Does Dendonka look good considering? For me, Wolves' defence is still Doherty or no one. I don't know if they're going to keep enough clean sheets. They've got good fixtures coming up. I just don't think. I'm just not sure they're going to keep a clean sheet enough to warrant getting in one of the defenders that doesn't necessarily have as much attacking threat as someone like Doherty. Obviously, the one thing you've got with them, the other ones that aren't Doherty, is they're a bit cheaper. Dendonka's listed as midfielder, 4.3. Yeah, no, I wouldn't be going there, to be honest. But obviously you got like Johnny 4.3. Had a bit of attacking threat earlier in the season, but I think Doherty's still the main man there. Sorry, I completely thought Dendonka was defender, listed as defender. Didn't get the notification you were streaming even though the bell was ticked. That's weird. Only about 20 minutes or so. Yeah, Bennett, well, Johnny's only 4.3 now. Bennett's 4.1. So yeah, if you were like on a wildcard or something, you could bring Bennett in, good fixtures. And if you need him to play, you can. But I don't know. Generally, I wouldn't be. I mean, Dendonka's the same. You're basically having him on the bench, but he's not really got too much attacking threat, and he could go back and play in defence as a midfielder. 4.3 sure as a fifth bench fodder, but outside of that, you're not really getting much there. Now that Salah is essential, you'll start to blank. That's what everyone thought last year. Yeah, to be fair, Johnny at 4.3 million is not. Like for me, I'd probably rather spend 0.2. If you've got it, I know money is always tight and it's always something you need. But Johnny at 4.3, only 0.2 ahead of Bennett. I think I'd probably pay that. Yeah, I think notifications on YouTube are just a YouTube issue. It's not like my channel or someone else's channel. Chris Kamara plans. Obviously not Chris. I'm just going to keep him, basically. He doesn't. I never play him. He's always on my bench anyway. Doherty and Schindler do play, so you've got no worries there. I've got 2 bench players that are going to play. Kamara will never get started for my team anyway. It doesn't look like he's fallen out of favour and maybe even leaving the club. But I've not read any more on that, so I don't know if there was any further updates. But it sounded like he'd had a falling out with someone on training, and obviously had that penalty incident as well. So for me, I'm just going to keep him on the bench. Now, if you've got him as one of your attacking 7 that you're having to play, then yeah, you probably need to look at getting rid. I'm not sure he's a good option anyway. But for me, I basically got to keep him now to the wild card, and I'll just get rid. Just don't need him then. It's certainly not nothing I'm prioritising. Liverpool defended this week, and then I start thinking about transfers for the doubles and the blanks, and ultimately I just let him rot on my bench. The only thing I'll do is I'll probably move him to permanent third bench player, just in case he does come on for the odd one-pointer. At least with, Schindler, I'm not expecting many clean sheets, but at least he definitely plays. As long as he's not getting red cards, we're good. What's my thoughts on Wan-Bissaka getting all 3 bonus points? Do you know what? Just like every other controversial bonus thing, I genuinely just don't care. I actually quite like that he got 3 bonus even though he conceded, because it shows that he was doing a good job, or at least bonus points wise he was doing a good job, even though his team were losing. And you do get that sometimes. Players play well even though their teams lose. But it just happens. It was like last year. Everyone was saying the bonus system was awful. Most of that focused around Salah. You'll notice the moaning's gone down a bit this year because Salah's got a bit more bonus. But even then, like, people were saying, "Oh, this match, this happened." It was like 6 or 7 matches out of like 300. So the percentage of bad bonus calls, and they're not even calls; they're all based on numbers, is actually really low. So sure, he got 3 bonus and a 2-1 loss. Who really cares? Like, good for him. I think the bonus system, is it perfect? No. Could it be tweaked? Yes. Is it a massive issue that everyone makes it out to be? Definitely not. Not for me anyway. Do I think Lamella will get good minutes in the next 5 games? I think he's got a much better chance now that Son is out. I don't think he's got good enough chance to bring him in though, because you've got Lucas Moura there as well. I suppose it really depends how they set up. If Kane is out, will Llorente come in, or will they play? I don't know. Can Lamella play up front? I don't know. Some kind of false 9 or something? We'll see. This week proves you don't need premium attackers. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I was saying last week, before I made the Rashford call, that maybe I was... I think Lucas Moura has got a little bit of a knot, but is he... Let me just check. Thought he was probably going to be okay. Yeah, knee injury, but we'll have to see what Poch says. But I don't think it's that bad, but we'll see. I don't know if Ali's going to play up front, though, is he? Maybe like a number 10 role. We'll see. What was the question? Premium strikers. Yeah, I mean, before I put Rashford in, I was starting to worry that I was maybe taking premium strikers out at the wrong time. And to be fair, if Kane's out, that's probably a little bit of a lucky move that I'm a week ahead of everyone else that didn't already not have Kane. But yeah, premium play. I don't want to write them off right now, premium strikers up front, because to be fair, the premium midfielders, Hazard, people are getting sick of. Sterling, I'm not sure there's much calls to get him in. Sanchez, obviously, De Bruyne, they're not really being mentioned at all. So I don't think it's necessarily completely bad to have premium strikers, because there's lots of good value midfielders. But like I said earlier, Guerrero and Jesus not really options right now. Kane, if he's out, obviously not an option. Lukaku's not playing. Morata, I mean, he's not at premium, but just no good. So it only really leaves Aubameyang, and if he had a really good run of fixtures, then I would say, yeah, he's a great option. But the next 3, I think, are tough. I mean, the Chelsea game, Chelsea versus Arsenal, I think there's goals in that for both sides. Although, to be fair, Chelsea have not looked like they're going to score multiple amounts, like 2 or 3, necessarily 2 or 3 goals. I think, yes, they scored a couple the other day, but yeah, it wasn't the greatest game, let's just say that. But I do think that could be quite open, bit of a derby, and I think Hazard will cause the Arsenal defence problems. But so Aubameyang could get some points in that, and then it's Cardiff at home, which is nice. I mean, you could arguably captain him in that game if you wanted to go against Salah, but then it's Man City away, which is going to be super tough for Arsenal. I don't think they'll get anything out of that. So yeah, premium strikers right now, not looking great, to be honest. And you can get Rashford for 7.4. It's hard to look past him if he's going to keep starting. And Man United have good fixtures. I mean, to be fair, if you're objective about it, probably a little bit lucky not to lose that game yesterday. They were good in the first half, but in the second half, just could not keep the ball. And obviously didn't get too many chances. Well, Pogba got quite a few chances in the second half. Rashford not so much. Although the chance that came to Pogba at the edge of the box where he hit it to the left, I saw a replay of that today. Rashford was on the right. Could have just passed him in. Teams been sitting back a lot against Chelsea. Can see them in decent on the counter against Arsenal. Yeah, that would definitely help. And I think the guy that Apple Bonkers has been calling out on Twitter, showing up again, Pedro, great points per minute when he plays. I know there's always going to be that doubt in the back of your mind that he doesn't play, but when Hazard's playing false 9, it's really Willian or Pedro, or Willian and Pedro on the wings. There's talk of like Hudson-Odoi getting a bit more time now, but you expect Pedro will play more than him. So yeah, Pedro looks like a little bit of a cheeky differential as well. Yeah, just putting something up here. Just having a look who Fulham have got about the Mitrovic question. Yeah, I mean, Spurs, Man United in the next 4, and he's been pretty bad. I'm just seeing what his stats are like. Not seeing too much of Fulham, although I did see Schürrle's goal was amazing. Yeah, Mitrovic still getting the shots in, to be fair. The only thing is I don't know how many of those are headed attempts, but yeah, he's maybe been a bit unlucky. According to his underlying stats, been a bit unlucky not to score. But the problem is he plays Spurs and Man United in the next 3. It is Brighton in game week 24. But Wolves have got pretty nice fixtures, so I think a Mitrovic to Jimenez move is not a bad shout, to be honest. Pedro has 100% big chance conversion rate. Alright, well, he's probably not going to keep that up. Clinical. You could say he's clinical. Is Eriksen an option? Yeah, I think any of the Spurs midfielders are definitely going to play. And I mean, really, that's just Eriksen and Ali right now. Are good options with those fixtures. I think you've got to be considered. I suppose it just depends who you're comparing them against. You know, Eriksen, a little bit more expensive than Pogba, similar price to Sané, less than Hazard. I think he's in a nice little spot there. If you've got the cash, could be a. I say differential. I don't know how much he's owned by. It feels like a differential because no one I know owns him. Yeah, he's only owned by 6.6%. Obviously, nothing against United, but he's been pretty decent for scoring points recently. 3 home games. I do think there is something in what people have been talking about Ali when Kane is out, though. So I think Eriksen will still try and dictate the play and maybe take shots from range, whereas Ali's going to get in the box. You'd hope. We'll have to see, because obviously last year when I think they played without Kane, obviously they didn't really play Lucas Moura as much, whereas he played quite a bit at the start of the season. So if he's back from his injury, or Lamela maybe plays up there, it's a bit different than when Kane is out and Son plays up there. So I don't know if we can just suddenly say that Ali is the best pick. How much value do you place on match of the day highlights? I think, honestly, anything, match of the day highlights, underlying stats, or whatever it is. I think you have to take them all together. Like match of the day highlights, they're good. I think if you've not watched the games, it's definitely better than nothing. But obviously they can be edited in any way the BBC want them to be edited. To make a player look bad, to make a player look good. You know, if someone's had a couple of good shots and they decide not to show them, then you feel that player's not played well, but actually maybe they did okay. And like I just put value. Like when I watched the game yesterday, the Man United game, the one thing. Now I don't know. I haven't checked how many were blocked, but when I watched the Spurs game, Kane had a lot of shots, and I said on stream that will come up on the stats as lots of goal attempts. But actually, quite a few of them were blocked. Now, obviously, it's a good sign if you own him that he's trying to shoot. And to be fair, he did have some nice chances that if he just put really either side of De Gea, he would have scored. But a lot of them were blocked. So I think you've got to. I think match of the day is like anything. You got to look at the whole picture if you can. But to be fair, I struggle some weekends to watch games. Like this weekend, I watched that Man United game, and I've watched Man City tonight. And that's it. I didn't get to watch anything on Saturday, and I won't get to watch anything this Saturday either. It's just the way it is. So then I'll start relying on maybe match of the day highlights, maybe looking at the stats, maybe seeing what people are saying on Twitter. And again, even that you've got to know who to listen to, and you know who's maybe a little bit more biased because it's their team. You also sometimes you get people who because it's their team, they're like the opposite of bias. Don't know what that word is. But like they try and, even though someone's been really good, they'll try and play it down a bit. Don't know what's the opposite of bias? Unbiased, I suppose, but that's not what I mean though. Watching full matches is the best way to see how players are doing. Yeah, for sure, but I mean, if you've got enough time to watch, if you've got enough time to watch every single game, then fair enough. Yeah, unbiased. Yeah, fair enough. All right, got it wrong. But that's not what I mean, though. Reverse bias is more like, yeah, like they're, even that they should be saying they've done well, but they're worried that they're going to get some stick because they're the. It's like if I went on Twitter yesterday and thought, well, I know that Pogba played well, and I know Rashford's finish was really good, but if I say that, they're just going to think I'm biased, so I'll play it down a bit, like, oh, well, we got lucky because of Trippier and whatever. Anyway. We'll move on from that. The bonus is in, is it? So that. Has it changed? Oh, Sané dropped. But he's still on 2 bonus points. Lovely. 8 points. Decent now. Incompetent. Stop all this Nasri chat. Look, this is a problem. Like, I didn't see the West Ham game, but people were saying that Nasri played really well. Yeah, let's put next week's. I'm really happy with my team for next week, especially if I get a Liverpool defender in. There she blows. I mean, I'm not sure what to expect from Fabianski anymore. Clean sheet. I mean, Jesus. City coming up against Huddersfield. They monstered them in Game Week 2. Yeah, a long time ago, though, that. Guerrero hat-trick and assist. Can they do it again? Absolutely. Do you know what I mean? Of course they could. They're Man City. They score goals for fun. Could it be this week? Yes. I mean, they've pretty much, 3 goals again tonight. Obviously, a lot in the cup as well. They seem back on it. Huddersfield are obviously going to be under a caretaker manager as well. Sounded like Wagner left on good terms. So we'll see how that affects the players. But yeah, why not a big 4 or 5 score? But you'd imagine Huddersfield will sit back a bit. Could be tough to break them down, but I still don't know if I'd bring Man City players in this week if not already got them. Got the money to get Sané or Sterling. Yeah, I mean, if Mendy was going to be out for a lot longer, I think you have to go Sané. Like, looking at him tonight, Sané looked good in the first half, and he did. Again, eye test. He definitely made some. He definitely made some really good runs that maybe if Silva and De Bruyne were on the pitch, they would have picked him out a bit quicker. So I was really happy to own him in the second half. And to be fair, a lot of this was because of the red card. But Salah was given a bit more. Sterling was given a bit more freedom to not necessarily stick as much to the wing. Now he does come inside anyway. He was a lot more central. But in terms of minutes, while Mendy's out, I don't think there's much in it. Like, Mahrez got a full rest tonight, and Sané came off on 60, and Sterling played the full 90. So does that mean Mahrez plays the next game? I don't know. I'm really wary about bringing Man City players in at the moment because they're probably going to blank in 27. They could blank in 31 as well. You could bring in Sterling this week, and he could get benched. But like I said earlier in the season, you're going to always have that concern. You're never 100% confident that either are going to start. But Sterling did get a good few chances tonight, or could have had some better chances. Just like, slightly better here or there would have had two or three better chances. So I think they both look good. The thing I worry about Sané now is that Mendy will be back soon enough. We don't know how many minutes he'll get once Mendy is back. So I suppose to answer your question, it's tough. Who would I go for right now? Bearing in mind you might have to take him out soon, I think I would just probably save the money and get Sané and hope that Mendy doesn't come back as quickly as he could do. Is Richarlison overrated? I don't know. You're talking in terms of FPL or otherwise? In FPL, I don't necessarily think so. Yes, he's not returned for 3 game weeks, but I suppose his price kind of dictates that. The only worry is that it's similar to what happened last year when he just kind of went off the boil in the second half of the season. But I think, as Super Tiger said, like if you'd watched the match of the day highlights, maybe you wouldn't even have that poll up. He had a chance, I think, cleared off the line. So on another day, he scores, and we're loving him again. Physio, catch you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to give so there are a few polls tonight. If you want to vote on them, we've got Richarlison, keep or sell. Obviously, people getting a bit annoyed because he's not done anything for 3 weeks. Best Kane replacement if he's injured. If he's injured, we're not saying he is. Is Jesus a genuine option going forward? Who would you choose between Hazard and Sterling? That came up. I guess because they're similar prices. And is it time to finally sell Alonso? So the title of the stream. We'll go through them in another 20 or so minutes. Richarlison hit the post. Yeah, exactly. He's been a bit unlucky. I'm not getting rid of him. I'm pretty happy with my team. I know Hazard, people are getting a bit frustrated with him. I think for good reason. The last couple of games, probably. I mean, eye test wise, Chelsea weren't great, and I think Hazard just didn't really look like scoring. It never felt like he was going to get anything in that game. I know he got the assist for William, but I mean that was really mostly down to William. It was a great finish. So Hazard, I'm okay with. Pogba, of course, I'm going to keep. Salah, of course. Salah, I've got to keep for now. So I'm pretty happy with my midfield. The one change will probably be, I can actually do, I think, I'll just check. Yeah, I can actually afford Keane. I can actually afford Keane to Robertson. So I might keep Alonso. I keep him for Bournemouth and Huddersfield? I don't know. I mean, I could do Alonso to Robertson, but I don't really need the money. And then I'm stuck with Keane another week. Do I want Keane or do I want Alonso? It's against Arsenal, though. Either way, Robertson's probably coming in for me. I mean, I could get Robertson and Trent. I've considered that for a -4. And I wonder if that could even pay me back this week. Kane 1 month out. Definitely got to be sold then. For your FPL team, which side would you prefer to face City in the Carabao Cup? Well, this is one of the reasons to maybe keep Alonso, because if I've got this right, if Chelsea turn the game around and beat Spurs and go through, there is a chance, albeit I think it's a slight one, of Chelsea's game, double game week, being moved to game week 25, and I think that gives them Brighton and Huddersfield at home. If I've got that right, someone correct me if I'm wrong. So I suppose from that point of view, for my team, because I've already got Hazard and Alonso, a Chelsea double game week would be perfect in game week 25, because you won't find out till next week. By then we're coming into game week 24. I've already got 2 Chelsea players for one of the best double game weeks you'll see, Huddersfield and Brighton. So maybe I should keep Alonso. What? Just one more week. Just one more week. And then another week and another week. Okay, so Kane out for a month is not 100% confirmed. That's just what the Guardian is saying, according to everyone in chat. So it's not... we don't know for sure. Let's wait and see what Spurs say. Yeah, Alonso is dropping pretty quick in price, but I don't really care. I'll keep him for now. Yeah, I know that Keane hit the bar. Someone tweeted me straight away. I was, if that had gone in, it would have been a Dean. Still would have been a Lucas Dean assist. So he would have still come. I know, obviously, if they scored that, the match outcome would have been different. But that would have been a second Lucas Dean assist. Should we sell Jimenez? His form is really bad. Is it that bad? I've not really noticed. I just love the guy. I mean, he scored 2 goals in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 matches. So yeah, not great, to be fair. What's that? 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 21, 24 points in 6 weeks. 1, 2. I mean, that's still 4 points per game. I don't know. And for a player, that's 4 points per game in... where he's had Liverpool, Spurs, and Man City in that time, and he only played half against Man City. I don't know. I just don't know if there's a rush to get rid of rid of him with the fixtures they got coming up. Nice half of a game rest today, 45-minute rest. Leicester, West Ham, Everton, Newcastle, Bournemouth, Huddersfield, Cardiff to come. I mean, I got him for 5.5. No way I'm getting rid of him. I'm not sure you can say that he's out of form. He hasn't scored for a game and a half, and one of those was against Man City. Indie football, yeah. I'm also not sure how reliable that source is, to be honest. Yeah, it was unlucky that Jimenez got taken out. Look, it was just circumstances of the game. They don't get a red card. He carries on playing at least into the second half, maybe 60, 70 minutes. I expect Traore would have come on anyway at some point. You need more Liverpool defenders? Absolutely, I do. My bench isn't up to much this week, that's for sure. Don't really want them coming off the bench. Yeah, I mean, if papers have started tweeting it, then it could be reliable. But like until there's a confirmed, we know he's out, rather than like it's just rumours or whatever it might be, then I'm not so sure about it. I'm not so sure about worrying about it, but it does look like he's probably going to be out for some amount of time, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, whatever. I don't think he's going to be playing this weekend. Who should captain next week, Salah or Hazard? I mean, it's got to be Salah, hasn't it? Home game against Crystal Palace versus Arsenal away. I know Arsenal have been pretty poor in defence, but I don't think that warrants not captaining the guy in form over Hazard, who's done really good this season, to be fair, but recently maybe not as many points as one would hope. And yeah, I'm going Salah set and forget now. It's boring because everyone's going to do it now as well, and obviously people have been doing it for weeks and they've killed me on points. But whatever. 1,000 people in the stream. I remember when you said that would never happen. Well, it's happened quite a lot of times this season. Not sure it's happened for a while though. Not sure what makes tonight any different. Maybe it's because the games just finished Monday night. Thanks everyone for watching. If you are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit a like. Always appreciated. And subscribe if you're new around here. How many subscribers are we even up to now? Let's have a look. 26,607. If we could just get another 24,000 subs tonight, that'd be unreal. We'd hit 50k. Pogba is outscoring Salah points per game at Old Trafford. Yeah, I mean, look, I think Pogba does have to be a genuine contender. But no, I'm not going to captain Pogba. The thing for me is the position he plays in. I think he said himself. I don't think it was one of the coaches. I think he said himself that he's under Solskjaer. He's making these runs into the box. I think he compared himself to Lampard, which is interesting. So he is trying to get in the box and to get onto the end of balls. So I do think he's a genuine option. He's definitely got assist potential, 100%. From corners and free kicks, he's tall. He's going to be one of the targets in the box as well. So he honestly is not the worst captain choice, I think. The only thing is, depending on how the game goes, he could just sit back a bit. He might not make those runs into the box. He could just try and dictate from the centre of midfield and not necessarily make those runs. But he's talked about doing that, so I don't see why it would suddenly stop. Whereas Salah's playing up front, and that kind of carries on for the whole game. So I think it's very hard to justify Pogba over Salah. But I don't think he's the worst option. I mean, he's definitely not the worst option. I mean, that's an understatement, really, isn't it, given the form he's in. He's a very good option. I just think Salah's better, personally. Although, he's definitely propping up his points with penalties at the moment. Love your videos with Disrano with Coke. Good grief. It's Coke Zero, to be fair. Get rid of that sugar. I'm going to have Disrano and Coke on my wedding. Going to get them to bring it around at the table for the dinner. With a bunch of Coke Zero next to it. Shaw's outscored Pogba last 2 game weeks. There's such a little part of me. Like, if I'm taking a hit, Alonso and Keane to Trent and Robertson, there's a little part of me that wants to go Robertson and Shaw. Little part of me. Tiny part. But I don't know, I've already... Triple Man United, it's the dream. Just not, I don't know. Am I going to play Candyland at the wedding? I should do, yeah. I should definitely do that. But the problem is, no one will have a clue, really. I mean, some of my friends maybe, but most people won't have a clue what the hell it is. Lucas Dean or Shaw? I need to try and answer this without... Look, at the end of the day, attacking-wise, Lucas Dean is better than Shaw, right? I don't think there's many people would deny that. Fixture-wise as well, let me just have a quick look here. See, Man United got 2 nice home games. I still worry about Everton's Everton's clean sheet potential. I think in the next 4, I think Man United will keep more clean sheets, but Lucas Dean has got more chance of attack and return, so it's very close. I really do think it's hard because he's on set pieces as well. It's very hard to just not go with Lucas Dean, to be honest. Or is it Luca Dean? Luca Dean or Lucas Dean? I don't know. When am I getting married? Don't know yet. Not 100%. Hopefully before the season starts in the summer sometime. Lucas. Well, there you go. Wedding live stream. I've already talked to the missus about that. Is Rashford a must-have? No, but for his price, he's an extremely good option right now. He does, like, in terms of teams to play, Everton definitely have good fixtures. It's just, don't like the amount of away games, necessarily, for clean sheets. It's not Dean, yeah. It's not. Pretty sure it's Dean. I'll throw out your Let's Talk FPL colours as the wedding colours. Went to a wedding fair on Saturday, and I did ask, there was a cake guy there with loads of designs in his cake. And I said, can you do any design? He said, yeah. So I got my phone out. I was like, can you do this logo? He said, yeah. What's it from? I was like, my YouTube channel. He's like, he looked at me like really strange. I was like, yeah, I could do that. But he was kind of play it down a bit. I think he thought, was like I kind of did, that if there was like a 3-tier cake, that one of the cakes would be purple and green. And he was like, yeah, but you could just do a little thing on the suit jacket or something. I was like, oh, that's not as exciting. What time? Okay, we'll do the polls in a couple of minutes. So make sure to vote on them top right hand corner if you haven't already, so we can get people's thoughts on the questions that were asked on Twitter. Is Trippier worth keeping? Yeah, I think so. Obviously, you got Aurier there. I think Aurier's fit at the moment. Even though he played recently. You got Walker Peters, who's like one of the top scoring points per game players this season. But yeah, I think Trippier's worth keeping because of Spurs fixtures. I finally took the plunge for Salah, and not having him has been killing me. Yeah, me too. Got him in last week. Had to, really. What about Lamella? Yeah, I think Spurs fixtures are great, like we said, but you just don't know who's going to start if Kane's out and Son's out. You'd imagine that makes it much more likely Lamella gets minutes, but I don't know. Sané will be dropped for Huddersfield. Maybe. We just don't know, do we? Would I sell David Luiz? Depends who you're getting in. I mean, if it was Luiz to Trent, maybe. But he does have Huddersfield and Bournemouth coming up for Arsenal, so I don't know if he's not a must-sell for me. How do we get notifications when the streams go live? If you click on the subscribe button, there should be a little bell. If you click on that, that should be the notifications, basically. But some people have been saying that it's broken, it's not always showing you. But I pretty much stream at the same time. 9 or half 9 on a Sunday, or when the game's finished, like tonight, straight after Man City. And then 9:30 on a Thursday as well. Yeah, keeping Kamara's bench fodder, for sure. Hazard, Sané, or Eriksen out? Now that is a tough question for Salah. I would say probably not Eriksen because of the fixtures. Hazard or Sané? I mean, I suppose Hazard just because of the fixture this week, and Sané's been in good form. Man City got pretty nice fixtures, so probably Hazard at a push. The only thing that worries me about keeping Sané, which we talked about earlier, is Mendy back soon, and whether he'll suddenly lose a lot of minutes, which could happen. I don't know if Mendy will get thrown straight back in. Obviously, Man City are doing well without him. It's not like they've really missed him that much. So I don't know if Mendy will get straight back in. So I like Sané right now. He's good value for money. But Hazard at a push. But obviously the thing with Hazard and Eriksen, they definitely play week in, week out. So that could be a reason to go for Sané out. But Sané out before Huddersfield just doesn't sit that well for me. But I appreciate you probably want Salah in for captain reasons. Eriksen out for sure. Sissoko out. We'll see him play deeper. Yeah, that's a fair point actually. When Sissoko went off, he went out to the right originally, then played more kind of centrally deep. So that could be an issue. But to be fair to Eriksen, when he did move in central, and he kind of played deeper, but he was still getting forward. Still got the assist potential, but obviously doesn't take necessarily all the set pieces. That's the problem with him. But I do like the fixtures. I'd probably veer to maybe sticking with Eriksen. I know what you mean though. Yeah, when Sissoko went off, he was pulled straight over. But maybe if they start the match and they know that Lamella's not there, they know Sissoko's not fit. Maybe they set up a bit differently and have Eriksen further forward. So it's hard to say with Son and Kane not there. Or potentially Kane not there. Right, let's do the polls. Let me refresh quick. Probably won't do a quick fire tonight because I've not got it set up. Because the other day when I had to redo my stream, I forgot to do the quick fire. So I can't really do one right now. But we'll maybe look at doing that again in the future. Oh, and obviously the only other thing with Sané as well to remember is they are going to blank in Gameweek 27. So maybe Sané is actually the one to get out. Still don't like it before Huddersfield though. Any bowling tips? Don't aim straight. Aim just to the left or right of the front pin. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people aim straight at the pin, but you've got to aim slightly to the left or right. Bit of spin if you can, but I mean that's probably pro technique. Okay, so Richarlison stick or twist. 67% saying keep for now. 33% though still saying to sell. But majority for keep. I think the same. Best Kane replacement. Maybe not surprising. Rashford with a massive 59%. Then Aubameyang with 16. Aguero with 14. Firmino with 6. And then someone else only 3%. So Rashford miles ahead. Is Jesus a genuine option? 87% say no. Kind of knew that would come out, but someone asked, so I thought I'd put out. So definitely no go for Jesus. Going forward, Hazard or Sterling. 58% saying Hazard. Sure about that actually. I think Sterling could be due some points. Obviously, like I said just a minute ago, though, Hazard guaranteed to play. And then is it time to finally sell Alonso? Wow. Alonso, often in the past, considered essential. Attacking Maestro in the past, obviously not recently. 90% of you say it's time to sell him. Oof, brutal. Time to get rid. That is, what's the word? Okay, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but definite. It's a definite no. It's a definite yes. Time to get rid of the man. Poor Alonso. Poor Alonso. If you can't keep a clean sheet at home to Newcastle, go yeah. I really thought I was a clean sheet. Don't favour questions that only influence your team. I don't. I basically take what comes in on Twitter. People tweet me what they want. And if there's a few people asking the same question, I usually prioritise that. Cheers, Wes. Thanks for tuning in. I think if I didn't have the money just to do Keane to Robertson, I would sell Alonso. I feel like I'm going to be saying that for the rest of the season. Imagine if I keep him this week, though. Everyone sells, and then he gets a double game week and Gameweek 25. I mean, I don't care how bad he's been. People would freak out if they didn't own Alonso for Huddersfield and Brighton at home. I don't care who you are. Huddersfield and Brighton at home, Alonso double game week. Everyone want him. It's very unlikely it's going to happen, but still. What happens to players that transfer out of the Premier League? They stay in your team, but the next transfer, I think you have to get rid of them. I think. Mark Summon's tipped Sol Bamba. Yeah, but Mark Summons is a genius. Double Cardiff clean sheet this week. Ridiculous. Won't freak out as you'd have David Luiz. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, anyone that's not got Luiz or Alonso. I still think people with David Luiz would worry a little bit about no Alonso. I know he's not looked great, but you'd still worry about what he could do in a double game week. Right. We're going to leave the stream there. Thanks very much for tuning in. Like I said at the start of the stream, thanks very much to Odds Monkey for sponsoring the stream. If you want to check that out, the link is in the description below with all the details. If you've enjoyed the stream, hit that like button and subscribe if you're new. Just before we go as well, just going to give a quick shout out to the Patreons. So Tony T, new Patreon, thanks very much for signing up. Dean P, Madcheck, Gaz H, Melissa B, Ryan Tier B, Robert P, Matthew H, Hayden H, Christopher M, and Scott S. The list is quite long. Thanks very much for all the support. Links to Patreon and stuff are in the description if you want to check that out. New league for February, due to go live soon. Otherwise, I'll leave it there. Next stream, when are we? We're just finished. So there'll be a video on Wednesday. Next stream will be 9:30 on Thursday. Going into the game week, game week 23. I'm losing track now. So I'll see you then. Like I said, like, comment, share, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and I'll